and let us all do we can to build a better future.
We're going to talk about our good friend, Representative Jayapal. She's talking about that Build Back Better plan. You know, remember that program that she was talking about, that bill that was originally at $7 trillion, now at $1.75 trillion? Well, huge shout out to Case Study QB. Found a couple of these gems. Basically, Jayapal is saying, and that's an awesome graphic, by the way. Jayapal is saying, enjoy the crumbs. Let's play this first video.
And so we still believe that a deal that is very close to that framework is exactly possible. He has been, to his credit, consistent about what he is willing to support, going back to several months ago when I first met with him. And he was pretty much in the same place as he has been all along. He supports universal pre-K. He supports childcare, where no family pays more than 7%. He has supported the housing provisions. He has supported elder care. He has supported the subsidies for health care so that we can continue to make sure Americans get affordable health care, especially in this crisis. And he supported the climate provisions as changed in that framework, not the original thing, but so this is, in many ways, this was Senator Manchin's bill, and I think we should go back to that framework and recognize that for all of the pushing that we have done to try to get him on some other things that we put into the House bill, the reality is that framework is what Senator Manchin wanted, and I believe that we can still get that done. And yes, we endorsed it. We would vote for that framework as it is.
Okay. Before we play the next video, I just want to make it very clear. That is the head of the Progressive Caucus, the Congressional Progressive Caucus, Representative Jayapal. And originally, that Build Back Better, BBBB, started at $7 trillion. Now it's as low as $1.75 trillion, and there's been recent talks about the Democrats even lowering it further. There's no Medicare for all in there. Any provisions that were there to help out working class citizens have been removed. Mostly now, what's in the Build Back Better is going to help out private corporations. And again, Jayapal saying, well, Manchin's kind of on our side. He agrees with it. This is Manchin's bill. Well, of course it's Manchin's bill. He just pissed and crapped all over it. He made it his, and he's handing it right back to you, and he's telling you to enjoy it. Now, again, progressives, if you actually gave a damn, you'd actually stand up for yourselves. Call out Manchin from day one. That's what you should have done. These progressives should have also kept it at $7 trillion, maybe push it even higher, but they didn't do that. And that's Representative Jayapal just giving praises to Manchin. This is what I mean about the Democratic Party. They have no backbone. They don't care. They don't think about us. They don't want to help us. And look at all this fake smiling. Let's pull up this next video again. Huge shout out to Case Study QB, speaking truth to power. Let's play this next.
He's obviously not committed to that framework anymore. And would you accept a bill that is, I don't know what the percentage is, but let's say 80% of what you want? Biden also said his plan for free community college might also need to be taken out of his Build Back Better plan. He's literally married to a community college professor. That's something that's near and dear to his heart. Would you be able to deal with a bill? I mean, is there room here to talk about something other than what the deal that you cut, that obviously I know many progressives feel that they were betrayed, but wouldn't something be better than nothing?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're continuing all of those discussions. But again, I would just say on the community college piece, remember, that was not in the framework because, again, that was something that Senator Manchin didn't support. We all wanted it to be in the framework. There were some things, I think this is the thing that may be confusing. There were some things we put into the House bill that we passed off the floor that were not the same as what was in the framework. And so we are going to get as much as we can get done. We are not going to draw red lines in the sand. We are going to fight to keep it as close to that framework as possible, because I think that that is what he has been very consistent about. And the president is right. You know, I remember him saying to us, I'm going to have to go home and tell Jill I couldn't get community college done. We will fight that on a different day. But absolutely, Jake, we are not going to throw away a chance to get these big, important pieces done, like childcare, pre-K,
right.
Housing, climate. These are big transformational changes that we believe we can still get done.
Well, right. I mean,
okay. So we're gonna worry about that fight for another day. Remember, forced to vote? Oh, we'll fight for Medicare for all the next day. We'll get that ready next time. We just got to keep our powder dry so we can fight for a $15 minimum wage increase. Oh, wait, what happened to that? That thing was shot down by the Democrats, especially the U.S. senators in the Democratic Party, most notably Manchin and Sinema. Oh, what about still fighting for Medicare for all? Well, the progressives ignored the March for Medicare for All, ignored the 3-day General Strike Summit meeting that was hosted by the Revolutionary Blackout Network. I guess we're just going to have to keep on waiting. Waiting and waiting and waiting. No initiative, no challenge to the Democratic leadership, no challenging any party members, because remember, vote blue no matter who. Hey, we got to work together to stop the Republicans because they'll do everything they can to make sure we don't get any of these progressive policies and liberal policies that we want. But oh wait, the Democrats are their own worst enemy. The GOP doesn't have to lift a frickin' finger. That's the head of the Progressive Caucus. Representative Pramila Jayapal, in what world are you living in? Like, I know you're not that stupid. You're smart. So obviously you must think the rest of us are stupid. Or you just don't really think that much of us. But we all see the game that's being played here. If anything, the Democrats had a huge amount of opportunities last year to get things done. But what was the excuse from the Biden-Harris administration? Oh, the Senate parliamentarian. Oh, it's the GOP. Oh no, blue dog Democrats. But yet AOC and other progressive members in the United States House and Senate kept saying that the Biden-Harris administration exceeded expectations. Where's our Medicare for All? Where's our UBI? Where's our Federal Jobs Guarantee Act? Where are all these programs and promises that were made in 2020? Oh, but Biden had the audacity to say, I didn't overpromise, even though there's plenty of video evidence out there showing that they were going to try and get things done. But oh, how could we all forget the major statement from Biden during his debate with his good friend Bernie Sanders? Remember, Bernie Sanders is good friends with Joe Biden. Nothing's going to fundamentally change. That's what he told the American people and all the corporate donors out there. Nothing's going to fundamentally change. Representative Pramila Jayapal, show us the proof that somehow this is going to get done. But how low are you going to lower that $1.75 trillion? You start at $7 trillion, you lowered it to $1.75 trillion. I'm wondering, will you make it $800 billion, $700 billion, $600 billion, $500 billion? Because it's pretty pathetic that at this point in time, you're still showing your face on national TV and saying things will get done and all these other things that you want, we'll have to put them on the back burner, but we promise we'll get back to it. This midterm election cycle is going to be a slaughter for the Democratic Party. They're going to get decimated, and it's their own doing. And they know what they're doing, because now that there'll be less of them in office, it'll be a good chance for the Democratic Party to do more fundraisers, to do more performance art. And then come 2024, when Trump runs again, oh, here come all the people with Trump derangement syndrome, basically saying, you gotta support us. We'll fight for democracy. We'll fight for all these things you want and not deliver on a goddamn thing. I want to pull up this final video as well. Again, huge shout out to Case Study QB, speaking truth to power. Be sure to follow his Twitter page. Let's play this video, Face.
Refused to go along with those changes. Now progressives are criticizing Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema and already working to undermine them. Congressional correspondent Chad Pergram shows us from Capitol Hill.
Democrats eating their own, liberals devouring senators like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, linking them to Republicans who blocked the voting rights bill.
Yesterday, on the Senate floor, white nationalists used the Jim Crow filibuster to block voting rights legislation.
Missouri Democrat Cori Bush accused Manchin and Sinema of, quote, ignorance and cruelty.
The United States Senate failed to advance legislation that would protect our fundamental and constitutional right to vote. And for what? Because of fear, white fear.
Other liberals threatening primary challenges for Manchin and Sinema. Majority Whip Dick Durbin disagrees.
I think that's very short-sighted. I'm disappointed in the positions they took, but it was entirely within their right to do it. In a 50-50 Senate, we value every member.
But Manchin and Sinema enjoy a warmer reception from their Republican counterparts compared to members of their own party.
I congratulate both of them for their courage.
Top Democrats are trying to prevent political sparks from flaring into a Democratic inferno.
Do you think that that's fair to have that sort of criticism leveled on Manchin and Sinema in this internal party fight?
I've
discouraged people from making comments about them. And I don't think there's any upside in Democrats' criticism.
There's Ice Cream Nancy. Mama Bear Nancy, as AOC likes to call her. Mama Bear Nancy saying, no, I'm discouraging any form of criticism. See what I mean? The Democrats know what they're doing. And right now, Manchin and Sinema are the two fall guys for the Democratic Party. They're the blue dog roadblock that's stopping everything. If it wasn't Manchin and Sinema, it would be some other Democratic senator. You see, the Democrats know what they're doing. If Nancy truly gave a damn about being a leader, being Speaker of the House, she would be raising a ruckus, fighting back. But no, she's telling all her troops, all her allies, to stand down, discouraging it, not doing a damn thing. You know, honestly, for a political party, it's so pathetic seeing them not fight. And then, of course, you have news outlets like TYT that's surprised that somehow, oh, the Democrats, you guys are just pathetic. Well, no, duh, but you kept carrying water for the Democratic Party. This is the Democratic Party. This is the party that progressives are supposed to flock to and support. This is why I'm so supportive of third parties and why we have to break away from the two-party system that we're living in. Leadership like this. Nancy knows what she's doing, and she doesn't give a damn. Let's play this rest of this video.
Criticizing Democrats.
Democrats need Manchin and Sinema if there's any chance to salvage President Biden's agenda. Democrats now tinkering with breaking up Build Back Better into pieces to muscle it through the Senate. But that approach isn't a solution to one of the biggest hurdles of all, complex Senate rules known as budget reconciliation.
This is a reconciliation bill. So when people say, let's divide it up, no, they don't understand the process.
There are two challenges for Democrats. They're trying to find what parts of President Biden's agenda are acceptable to Manchin and Sinema, and Democrats are trying to make their own agenda resonate with the voters. Brett?
The Democrats are going to be walking into a disaster. And the thing is, don't fall for the propaganda. Don't let anyone yell at you or browbeat you or just make you feel bad because you're not going to vote for the Democratic Party. You don't owe these politicians a frickin' thing. They don't care about you. They don't think about you. They don't like you. There's nothing you can do for them except vote for them. And if you continue to vote for them, you're giving your silent, obedient consent that you're okay with how they're treating you. The Democrats had a lot of opportunities last year to get things done. They chose not to lift a finger. The progressives didn't raise a ruckus. The Democratic progressives, what did they do? They ignored forced to vote. They didn't fight for 15. They ignored the March for Medicare for All. They ignored the 3-day General Strike Summit meeting. They ignored it. They ignored it because they got their marching orders from the Democratic establishment. And now they're putting on the song and dance condemning Manchin and the GOP and Senator Sinema and questioning Biden. It's too little too late. We see through the BS. Convince independents and progressives why we should vote for the Democratic Party. And if you're going to use the excuse of, oh, it's the GOP, they're bad. Well, no, duh. You would expect more from the Democratic Party, but they're not delivering. And we all know what's going to happen in 2024. Trump's going to run again. History keeps on repeating itself. The only way we could truly free ourselves is by not voting Democrat and sure as hell not voting Republican. They need us more than we need them, and they have proven it time and time again. So when you hear these excuses from these progressive lawmakers, you have every right to challenge them, every right to make them feel uncomfortable, every right to get in their face and call them hypocrites and frauds. That goes for everyone in the Democratic Party and everyone in the Republican Party. These politicians don't care about their constituents because you're not their number one concern. It's Wall Street investors, hedge fund managers, big banks, corporations, top 1%, lobby groups. These are the constituents the Democratic and Republican Party cares about, not you. Because in the United States Senate and House, our politicians are writing laws to make their donors happy. That's it. Not to make your life easier, but to make their donors' lives easier. And these same politicians have gold-plated healthcare, have wonderful benefits, and they are living their best lives comfortably. The rest of us have to struggle. So when you hear Pramila Jayapal saying, well, it's better something than nothing, I offer this. Because you haven't offered us a goddamn thing.